Hi, good evening, Khoi.
Hi, good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good too.
Oh, okay.
So, why is it you're good today?
I think I don't
What
know.
makes you good?
I don't know. I just look at the starry sky, just look at the nature. I feel peaceful.
So, out from that beautiful sceneries that you have seen outside, you will be calm, right?
Yes.
So, that makes a person good. Okay, very good. Okay, so let's continue our lesson today, Khoi. And we're going to have a lot of things to discuss. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to present to you our presentation now. Now, yesterday we had able, or I already mentioned to you that we are going to tackle about this one. Okay, um, as part of the reading to activity. Now, take note of this one. We call this one as matching headings. So, on your own understanding, what do you think would be matching headings?
I think we mark two statements which are specific and marked well,
Okay. And then,
and then it will be completely a sentences, a sentence.
so where do you think would be the headings in this particular reading or passage?
There are three. There are. Hmm? What's three?
Where do you think would be the headings that we need to match with
I
the
think
passage? So where do you think is the headings?
one, two, three.
Yes. So the questions that is asked from the passage, because all of the questions in here are taken from the passage. That means you can be able to find the following questions. In order for you to answer, you have to locate or find it here. Okay, so that is, we have to match the headings to the passage by reading the passage very quickly. And then
Ah,
there's an
solution.
additional question in here. How many solutions to traffic congestion are mentioned? Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So, in this particular passage, how bad are traffic jams where you come from? Now, you have to take note of this. The first thing that you are going to locate to match from the passage would be the question, how bad are traffic jams where you come from?
Mm,
Okay?
okay.
Again, is this related to the passage? Is this related to the passage?
First is A.
This is the passage that we need to read. Now,
Yes.
question, how bad are traffic jams where you come from? Do you think the question number one has relationship or it's related to the passage that we are going to read?
Passage A.
Hmm?
Passage A for question one.
Passage A, why?
Because it mentioned the affection of traffic congestion.
Yes, but I want you to analyze first the
Ah,
question. Okay, see?
wait.
Okay, so you need to analyze the question first. Okay, the question doesn't what? Doesn't answer. This is just only your guide. Okay, but the specific question that you are going to answer would be the traffic situation in the place where you come
From.
from. So that means if you are from Vietnam, you need to explain that on the point of view of Vietnam traffic. Okay?
Perfect.
So it doesn't have a relationship with this passage. Okay? Although it's the same. The one that you are going to read is all about the traffic jams. So maybe there would be relationships, right? You
Yes.
can maybe get some of the ideas through this one in answering question number one. Because, of course, all over the world, traffics are there, right? In the Philippines, we have a very heavy traffic. Maybe in your country, I don't know. Is in Vietnam, do you experience also a traffic jams,
Mm,
especially in a big cities like Ho Chi Minh City in Saigon?
oh, compare where I live, the place where it's tighter, peaceful, and not so many vehicle. Not so many vehicle running.
Where is it
Or
in the Ho Chi Minh City?
no, it's in my town, a
Ah,
small.
in your town. Okay. So, yeah. So if you are going to compare that one in your town, so the traffic jam is not congested, right?
Yes.
Okay, compared to the other. So you have to explain that one. Okay? Since this one is a reading, there would be a guide questions that you can answer. Not unlike with the speaking, right? Why?
Yes.
Because in speaking, you need to write first before you can speak that one. Whatever comes on your mind, put that one into writing and give ideas. And then after that, say them. Say them. So that is speaking now. But in writing, there would be guide questions for you to accomplish or for you to follow. Okay? That's why it says in here that you need to read the passage very quickly because everything in here is not us, right? It's not us. So there are only a few very important words that they will be going to us, just like this one. Okay? So you have to talk about first the traffic jams where you come from. That means in the place where you are living or in the city where you are living. Okay?
Mm,
Okay. So, would you kindly answer that one, that question now? How bad are traffic jams where you come from? Although it's a reading, it's of
mm.
course it's in a form of writing, but I want you to speak. I want you to do it through speaking.
I have to say,
Huh? Ah, you
ah,
said that already. So that
yes,
will be your
just
final answer.
yes,
Okay, so based on your point of view just a while ago, you said that in your place, you weren't able to experience a traffic congestion because there would be only few vehicles in your particular city or in your particular place, right? So
yes.
therefore, you weren't able to experience traffic congestion, and that's good. But what about in a bigger city like Ho Chi Minh City? What do you think would be the situation in there?
Crowded with
Yes, very crowded because it's a big city. And imagine how many people are living in the city. And those, almost all of those, or maybe half of those people have their own cars. Right? So those are private vehicles. Those are private cars. What about those public transportations? Okay? So imagine private vehicles plus public transportation together. So that makes traffic. Okay? So there would be congestion. There would be a traffic problem for that. And that problem would bring a lot of
Mm,
problems, may cause a lot of problems, a bigger problems. If will not be solved, it will become bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay? Okay. What about question number two?
what problem do traffic jam cause?
Yes. So out from, okay. Now look at this one. Now, this one is not based on your own city. So this one is based on the passage. So
Yes.
based on the passage, what problems do traffic jams cause?
Um,
Not all of them are problems, right?
so, question two. It is my own experience always by on the reading.
Yes.
How could we answer the number two?
Yes. What problems do traffic jams cause based on the passage here?
Okay, okay.
Yes. So this is just only the part A, B, but the parts um, C, D, and E is here. Okay. So I'm going to give you 2 minutes for the time for you to read that. And then after that, I want you to answer. Could it be okay? 2 minutes is enough? Or would you like me to give you 5 minutes to do that?
Okay, I can answer now.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, what about here? This one. You weren't able to
Yeah.
see it. Okay,
Yes.
continue. So just 2 minutes, maybe. Okay. It's just only 30 seconds left to consume your 2 minutes time. Okay, five, four, three, two, and one. Okay, time is up. Are you ready?
I think I'm ready.
Yeah, okay. Start answering it now.
What problem do traffic jam
Okay.
cause?
Before you are going to speak, before you are going to say your answer, Koi, I let me remind you, okay? This time we are going to um what is one? We are going to emphasize particularly on how to enunciate or pronounce the words correctly and clearly, okay? With stress. Remember that? Okay? So not just only monotone, but with stress. Like for example, for me, I am going to say something about that. So my answer would be like this. So it's just only soft and slow, okay? Maybe not too slower, okay? It's just only the regular speaking one. Not too slow, not too fast. So the regular one, okay? Okay. Go.
For me, in my opinion, the problem traffic jam cause is causing small in dozens of cities for both developed and developing world. And and besides, people may if the toll is high enough, some driver will cancel their trip or go by bus or train that contribute to the air pollution.
Mhm.
And next way,
Okay, that's it.
now
So that would
still
be for question number two, right?
anything doing passive E F G.
Ah, two and three.
Yes.
So you answered that one already. Okay. Now let's try to analyze. Okay, if you hit the mark. Okay, if you hit your answer. Now, um, question number one, you were able to answer that one because this one is based on your own experience, that is based on your country. Okay. But question number two and number three, okay, and of course, the follow up question in here would come from the passage. Now, let's try to analyze what problems do traffic jams cause.
Yes.
Do we have a lot of problems
Sure.
that this traffic jam cause?
Yes. A lot of.
Okay. Would you kindly mention what are those problems based on the passage A first?
Yes.
Then let's move on to passage B, C, D, E. Okay. What do you think would be the problem of this traffic jams cause in passage A?
Traffic jam cause more in dozens of cities.
Yes. So cause smag. So I'm going to mark that as red. Okay? So that's the problem, meaning the traffic congestion can contribute air pollution because when we say a smog, that is a smoke. Okay? So it's a very, very unhealthy smoke. So that's a smog that comes from cars. Okay? And of course, additional comes from factories within the city, right? And a lot more. So that causes unhealthy air. Okay?
Okay.
Aside from that, what do you think would be the problem?
Aside from
What
that,
about in B? Can we see a problem in here?
yes,
What-
congestion rising.
Again?
In the paragraph B, we got another problem is congestion rising.
Why is it you said that congestion pricing is also one of the problems that cause traffic jam?
Because because no. It's an advantage, not disadvantage.
Yes, okay. So problem that is not a problem because that is one of the most promising technique for
Mm,
reducing traffic congestion. We call that one as congestion pricing. So what is this congestion pricing all about? So what this is congestion pricing all about?
It's about it in the theory. If the toll is high enough, some driver will cancel the trip.
Yes, right? So it's you are going to what? You are going to make the price higher so that commuters or those private vehicles or private cars will not going to what? Will not going to enter. Okay? Will not going to drive because
Yes,
oh, the toll is high. Okay? So if they will be going to use their cars most of the time, a lot of people will going to go out in that particular day. So what do you think would be what do you think would happen? That would create congestion. Okay? So if the the price of the toll fee will be higher, there would be lesser possibilities that cars or private vehicles will going to what drive their car. So what they will going to do? Oh, I'm just going to put my car here. I'm just going to commute instead of driving my own car. And one thing more, make the fuel higher too so that they cannot buy fuel, right? So if the two must go together, let's say for example, higher fuel and higher toll fees, of course, it would be the possible what if you it would be the possibility that cars of those private vehicles will not going to enter within the city, right? So what they can do, they will going to commute. And that would lessen the traffic congestion, right?
yes,
Okay. Again, in passage A, I passage B, there would be no problem. But this one is one of the solution. It was mentioned in there. What is that solution? It's the congestion pricing, right?
yes.
Okay. Next. What about in letter C? Do we have problems
No
that
problem.
no, again, this one is another way on how to listen the traffic by okay. First, okay, I'm going to go back to letter B, huh? I'm going to I'm going to put a red mark on our
Joy
answer.
by
Okay, no, not red. I'm going to mark this one,
is
the blue
blue.
one. Okay, blue. Okay, so the red one would be the problem. The blue one would be the
Advantage.
solution. Okay, advantage. Okay, what about in letter C?
To see. No disadvantage.
Okay, so what is that? In order to reduce the rush hour traffic for
Um,
the employers is to implement
Employers can also allow more staff to
to
telecommute work.
implement we call that as flexi time. Okay? So when we say flexi time, wait for a while. So when we say flexi time,
Um,
the employees travel to and from work at off-peak traffic times to avoid the rush hour. That means maybe employers will going to assign a certain period of time wherein their employees will not going to what? Will not going to go out or report to the office within that particular period of time since it's a rush hour. So maybe they can set up the so-called work from home setup, right? Okay. During the pandemic, we did that one already. Most of the employees are working at home or working from home. And we did that. Okay? We
yes.
successfully did that one, even though we are just in our own home. Okay, and it turned out to be successful also with the company. Okay, so that is if the employers were going to implement a flexi time. So when we say a flexi time, there would be a period of time wherein, let's say for example, I don't know what's the rule in Vietnam, because here in the Philippines, most of the offices in here, except for the call center, okay, except for the call center, those who are in the government services, employees of the government offices, their official time, reporting time, is at 7, okay, 7 a.m. up to 4 p.m. So that would be the official time from Mondays or Monday up to Friday. So that means a lot also of the private companies the same time. So they are also implementing the 7 to 4 hours or the 7 to 4 p.m. Working time. So if that all people will going to work, okay, they will going to go out together, ride a car, okay, or if they have their own cars, they will be going to move or they will be going to go out together with all their cars. So what happened? Of course, there would be traffic congestion for that. So if maybe employers could implement maybe shifting, say for example, Monday, 7 to 4, and then on Tuesday, maybe that's going to be, let's say for example, let's say 10, so that you will not going to what? To join the rush hour, right?
Okay,
Okay, that would be a flexi time. Understand, Koi?
understand.
Okay, so the letter C is not a problem because this one is
Advantage
another
and
solution.
solution.
Next, letter D.
No,
What is that again?
and yes.
It's solution. So what's that solution?
Is
To
uh,
build.
yes, to build more roads.
Yes, okay. So their plan would be to build more roads, especially roads that can take drivers around all over crowded streets. Let's say, for example, I don't know, in Vietnam, do you have also crowded streets?
Road is street, of course.
Yeah, here in the Philippines, we do have also that one. Okay. Even the streets can be a parking. What about in Vietnam? Have you experienced that one that they're not parking their automobile or their cars within or inside their parking area or parking lot, but they are just parking it or they are just parked that on roads besides the road.
And actually, I will never experience numbers. I will, I will get to the Ho Chi Minh City one time, but it
Mm.
will make you memories, so I don't remember really clearly.
Yeah, actually, uh, that's within a big city, okay? But
Yes.
in not so big city, there would be no problem when it comes to the traffic congestion, okay? Okay, so that is one of the solution also to build more roads. What do you think? This kind of solution could be possible? Do you think it will help in order to ease the traffic congestion? What do you think on your own point understanding, Koi?
Hmm.
Of course,
Please,
this one, I can see that flexi time can help. Okay, can help listen the rush hour traffic, right? Because when we say rush hour traffic, there are a lot of people, okay, are rushing going to their office. So that's why it's called as rush hour traffic. So what's the rush hour traffic? From 6 o'clock in the morning up to 8 o'clock in the morning. And then in the afternoon, from 4 o'clock in the afternoon up to 6 p.m. So that would be the rush hour. Okay? So
Okay.
I think it can help listen the rush hour traffic. But what about building more roads? What do you
Build,
think? Is it an advantage or this one is a disadvantage?
we moral, I think is it. I don't know why, but we build moral. The more we build moral, the more the money we pay.
Yes. And remember, but according in here, but such techniques do not really keep cars off the road. The more they only accommodate more of them. So meaning if you are going to build more roads, so those who can afford to buy cars will going to buy more cars. Why? Because there's a place, okay? So they will going to buy more cars. So I think this one is not so very effective, okay, way of easing the traffic congestion. Okay? But maybe in some place, in some point, it can help. Okay? But generally speaking, this one cannot. Okay? Now, next, letter E.
Yes.
This one
Mm,
is a problem or a solution.
a solution.
Okay, so what do you think is that?
The American government had decided to spend some billion USD on helping to increase capacity of on public transport system
Yes,
and
so increasing the capacity on
public.
public transport system. So that means to upgrade them with more efficient technologies. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. This is just only my point of view, okay? If I would be the president, I will going to open the public transportation using an airplane. Okay, that is what is one that is within the city, okay, or within the province,
If
right? So those who wanted to go to, let's say for example, in the nearby areas, okay, which is far from the city or in the province with that particular area, they can go there by plane. Okay? So that is just only my own point of view, huh? But of course, people don't have the same point of view,
yes,
right? Okay. So actually, in this particular passage, we do have only one main problem, and that would be the traffic jam that cause smog. Or when we say, in other word, we call this one as air pollution. Okay?
okay,
Yes, so that is one. Now, in order to eliminate this one, okay? Or to control, because we cannot eliminate the traffic jams. As long as there would be cars, there would be people, of course, expect traffic. But how are we going to what? How are we going to control them? So that would be the solution in controlling them. Do not stop them, because if you are going to stop them, what would happen? What will happen? So there would be no cars at all. And where are you going to ride if you don't have cars at all? Right?
yes,
Yes, so do not stop them because we cannot stop that one. So as long as there would be cars, there would be people, there would be traffic. So we have to expect that one. But we can say that we can control them. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, do we answer also the question number three? What solution to the problem can you think of? Now, in this particular question, Koi, it needs your own
Um,
understanding. Okay? So, that means this answer must not come from here. This is based on your point of view. That's why I told you before, okay, for me, okay, based on my point of view, I would suggest that I am going to what? To operate an airplane traveling within the city or within the province, right? That is just only my point of view. But what about you?
I think we should limit the driving, the driving transport such as car,
Okay,
motorbike, and
limit. I heard about limit, right?
yes,
Limitation. Okay, go.
we should increase the number of public transport, so in
Okay.
order to decrease the air pollution.
Okay. And are you also in favor because in this particular lesson that we have on our previous lesson, we had the so-called um what is one? An electric cars, right?
Ah, yeah, that's
Yes. Electric cars could also be one of the
great
solution to that.
solution.
Maybe all of the public transportations can operate outside the city, especially those who are far places from the city. You can operate that, but within the city, you have to impose to use the electric motor or electric cars, right? Because electric cars can what? Can listen or cannot, of course, cannot, what is one? Cause smog, right?
Yes.
Because it doesn't use fuel. So it's just only electricity.
Mm,
So that means no smog will going to develop, right? Oh, it's a
yeah.
good idea, huh? Or remember that one, huh? If there would be question in the IELTS, again, remember, question number one, before you have to answer, analyze first the question. Question number three, you think of. That means, what do you think would be your contribution to solve the problem of traffic congestion? Okay? So remember the electric cars or electric motor, that would be a good also. But of course, remember, there would also be disadvantage of using electric car, right? Because it cannot travel longer compared to the fuel, right? So if that electric cars are going to travel in the mountain, of course, it will not survive. It cannot survive in the mountain, right? So maybe it's just only in the city. Allow that one. Oh, maybe one of these days, if you will become the president of the of Vietnam, so you can impose that one. Okay, within the city, all electric cars are only allowed. No more fuel cars, right? I
Yes.
don't know. Is it possible?
Yeah. Absolutely possible.
Yeah, it can be. Okay. Okay. Next, do you have questions with this, Koy?
No question.
No question. Again, before you have to answer, you have to think first and analyze the question, whether the question is based on the passage or it is based on your own point of view. Okay? Because if you were able to answer that one based on the traffic, let's say in question number one, if you were able to answer that based on the passage, it can also be. but you have to mention, I think, in my own opinion. Okay? You can get in here, but you have to say, I think, in my own opinion. Okay? The same problem within my community or within my area, the so-called traffic congestions. Okay?
Okay.
So so from that, you can be able to what? You can be able to come up with the answer of this. Right? But where did you get that? You got that's in here because that is just only your guide. Okay, Kai? Okay, next. So reading to again, continuation of the matching heading. So let's try to, of course, to match the words in here from the sentences or from the phrases in on the right side. Okay, number one has been given. Congestion, that would be
Let B.
letter B. It's the situation when something is full or blocked, especially with traffic. So that is congestion. When we say smog,
Um, small.
it's a smoke. Yes. So that is letter
A.
A. So air pollution. Okay, that's correct. Then when we say developed,
Letter C. No, 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 no.
so
Letter D. Letter D.
uh-huh. Yes. Because when you say developed, describes a country with an advanced level of technology, industry, or etc. So that's developed. Okay? But when we
Yes.
say developing,
Letter C.
why?
Because developing is a happening. The development.
Yes. Okay. That means that is happening at the present because
Yes.
of the ing verb. Okay. This one is a verb. So we add the ing. That's ing verb. We call that one in grammar, we call that as the present or
Take.
past continuous
No. Present continuous.
present continuous form of the verb because of, or we call this one also as infinitive. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Next, what about commuter?
Oh, commuter. Um. Commuter. I think it's letter F. No,
No?
no, no. Letter J.
Yes, letter G. So
G.
commuter meaning person, okay? Someone who travels regularly between work and home. So that's a commuter, okay? Next, what about atoll?
Tall. Letter E.
Okay, the money that you pay to use a bridge, road, etc. What about rush hour?
First hour. Letter H.
Letter H, the time when a lot of people are traveling. When we say off peak,
Of peak. Some letter. That was I think letter F.
okay, not at the most popular and
Expensive.
expensive. Okay, so off peak meaning it's not that popular. Okay, that means um there would no people. Okay, it's at off peak, not unlike with the rush hour. Okay, because
Yes.
off peak, the opposite of that is rush hour. So rush hour, there are a lot of people. Okay, off peak, there are lesser people. Okay, or automobiles or cars because it's an off peak. Okay,
Yes.
okay, so we were able to match the vocabulary in here. Okay, do we have questions, Koi?
Letters. No
Mm.
question.
Okay, no question. Next, oh, where are we? Okay, this one. So read this list of headings and discuss what you think its one means. So headings in is here. Then
And
this one
reading passage.
is, yeah, the
Passage
reading passage is 5 paragraphs. Okay?
E to E.
The A to E. Okay. Exam advice. I want you to read this one, Koi.
Underline the key idea in the headings before you read the passage.
Yes. So underline the key ideas because that would be your what? That would be your guide in answering. Okay? And then,
Read the paragraphs one by one to choose the correct headings.
yes, so read the paragraphs one by one. Okay? To choose the correct headings. So these are headings, right?
Yes.
Okay. So paragraph A to E. So the one that we use, right? In here. Okay? So paragraphs A to E. Now, in this particular, oh wait, in this particular, um, what is one? Exercise or activity, we have to take the traffic jam problem. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. So the correct headings for paragraph A is number one is given. Am I right?
Correct. Sure.
This one, a global problem.
Yes. Can you
The
say
the correct heading for paragraph A is
seven?
this one. So a global problem. Can you say why?
You say well because the paragraph A is mention the common problem of the global.
Okay. Actually, not a common problem, but this one is the most, okay? Or this one is the what do we call the one? The right term for that would be um world problem. Okay? So this is not just only a problem within your country, but of course, it's the problem of the world. Okay? So it's a world problem. Okay. So
Number E.
you are going to say that a global problem. Oh, it's here, in here. Global problem. It's a world problem. Okay. So why can you say that? Because not just only you can maybe answer this. I can say that a global problem is all about the traffic congestion because that traffic congestion would uh, um, create smog or would not create but of course would what's the right term for that, not create, because that would cause, okay, so the right term for that would cause smog, and that smog is a problem because that may turn into air pollution that can pollute the air,
Yes.
okay, which is harmful. And then you stop there. So there would be points for that, okay? Next, the correct heading for paragraph B is either the third or the fourth. The third is this one, closing city centers to traffic. Oh, can you do that? Um, is it possible?
What's
Okay,
possible?
next, let's try. That's number four. Making cars more environmentally friendly. Oh, again, huh?
The
Which heading is correct? Because the paragraph in B, okay, either third or fourth.
No, no,
So
no.
the
Six. It's
question,
six. Uh,
yes, the six. It's six. I know, no, yeah. Six, it's paying to get in.
Yes.
So the third one is closing city centers to traffic and then paying to get in. So
Pay.
which do you think would be the correct one and why?
The statement C is correct one.
Where?
Paying to get it. Number C.
Paying to get in. Yes, because you know what? It's not that would be inhuman. You know that? That would be inhuman if you are going to close the city centers to traffic. So there would be a lot of what? A lot of maybe car owners will going to what? To complain. Because what are they going to do? Are they going to put their cars beside and they will just going to walk going to the city center? What if their work is in there, right? So that's
Yes.
inhuman. So that would not be possible. So the most possible one answer is paying to get in. Now, in an IELTS exam, maybe there would be this kind of question. Okay? There would be a passage and you need to match that one. And there would be the so-called, what is one? Um, Almost the same ideas, almost correct. Okay? But you have to choose the best and the most correct one. Okay?
Okay.
Maybe, maybe if that would be a small city. Oh, well, if you are the president of that country,
No, we
you have
cannot
to
do it.
close that.
No.
Okay. So there would be riot if you're going to close that, right, Goy?
Yes, we
Or what
cannot do it.
about you? If you have a car, would you like to let the city centers to be closed for traffic? Of course not, right?
Yes. Of course not.
Okay, next. Number 3. Now read paragraph C to E one by one and choose the correct heading for each. Okay, so we already read that one. So where do you think would be the correct answer?
I don't remember. Can you show again?
Okay. So I have to start on the A, B.
Mm.
No,
C,
C to E.
D, C, D.
Yeah.
Rest time, tomorrow, in capacity, what again?
Yeah. Flexi time, build more roads, increase capacity on public transport system. Okay, so that is how you are going to what? Look at this one, Koi. It says in there, underline the key ideas. Okay, but what I did was I just make it colorful instead of underlining it. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so these are all keywords.
Mm.
Okay, let's answer now.
Mm.
Are you ready to answer?
Yeah, I get the main point of
Okay.
it. All right.
Yes.
Let's see. Flexi time. Um, I think changing working practice. Number two.
Okay. Uh, Here, right?
Yes.
2, changing working practices. Yes, that is flexi
Paraxy.
time.
Yes.
Yes. What else?
Um, about paragraph D, we got build model. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Making calls. I think we what do we do? Um, not doing enough. The number five.
Not doing enough. Why? It was mentioned in there?
No,
Yes,
no,
and in the last paragraph.
no,
Ri-
wasn't mentioned.
It wasn't? Are you sure?
Sure. That's a D. Build morals.
And upgrade them with more efficient. But
Wait,
environments
wait.
complain that
I said about paragraph D, not E.
okay. It's D?
Yes,
Okay.
is specific with number five.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. In C and E, it should be specific. Okay. Wow, what are the correct answers in here? Meaning are, not only one, right?
Oh,
So you are going to say, okay, I got your answer. The first one, changing working practices, and that is Lexit time. That we can find that one in passage C, right? Okay, what else aside from that?
um, s- I think it's let number seven, a global problem.
It was already mentioned in here.
Wait. Oh, but you say we can choose a ladder.
No, no, no. Those who are just left in the headings. So we will not going to take the answers that has been taken. Okay, so those who are not actually one in here. Look at this one. A solution which is no solution.
Okay. So number six
Okay.
and number seven should be left out.
Okay.
Yes.
Number six and
Number seven should
what
be
about
left.
making cars more environmentally friendly? Is it mentioned in there?
This wasn't mentioned,
It
but
wasn't. Yes. But of course, I like that. Okay. The cars that are more environmentally friendly, that is an electric cars, right? But in that particular passage, it was not mentioned in there. Same with this one. A solution with no solution. What is that? Okay. So maybe we are just going to take changing working practices. Okay. Is it not doing enough? No.
no, not
Okay.
sure.
So not. Okay, so that is just only the second one. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
And paragraph D, we got Bill Monroe. It should be number five and number four.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So do you have any questions with this?
No question.
Again, this is how we are going to match, huh? You
Yes.
have to remember the headings and then match that with the passage. So when we say matching with the passage, you just have to what? Take note of the keywords. Just like this one, like this one. So no need to read all of them. So just the keywords. Okay, next. Now make
Okay.
and cause. Look at this one. IELTS candidates often confuse make and
And
cause. Which verb in italics is correct
in each
in
of
each of these
sentences.
sentences? For example,
Traffic jam cars, smoke endogenous.
yes, that's why I told a while ago. Oh, what would be the correct? Okay, correct.
Yes.
Correct to use. So it should be cause. So the traffic jams cause smog. Next.
Traffic jam makes people angry.
Okay. Now, what do you think would be the difference between the use of the cause and the use of the make? Now, in an IELTS, okay, some IELTS candidates often confuse of this, when to use the make and when to use the cause. So
Um,
what do you think would be the answer for that?
I don't know. I don't know the difference between cause and make. I just use it by instinct.
Okay. Okay. Now look at the blue one.
Oh, okay.
Okay. The blue one says we have to use cause if to make something happen. Okay. We have to use make, like make somebody, make something happy, make sad, make difficult, or etc., to cause someone or something to become happy, sad, difficult, or etc. That means it's the cause, meaning it's the result already of something, okay, of that cause. That would be make.
Sorry.
Okay,
Okay.
but it is to make something happen, you have to use the cause. Like, for example, the hurricane causes widespread
Spread.
damage. So there would be something happen, right? And what
Yes.
is that? That would be a cost. Okay, and
Okay.
then made or make, you've made me very happy. So the effect of that cause, right? So what would
Yes.
be the effect of that cause? You made,
Me.
because make is in the present tense, but of course in the past tense, it's made. Okay? Now, it's very important also to understand the proper use of that also called. Okay, remember that. If you use that in the present, you have to use make. If you use that in the past tense, it's made. If you use cause in the present, that would be cause without the D. But if you
Yes.
use that in the past tense with the D in it, okay? So it
Okay.
depends on how you use that one. Okay,
Mm.
Koy? So
Get.
which verb is followed by a noun, adjective, or an adjective plus a noun? Is it
Um,
cause or make?
Number one is core and number two is main.
Okay, look at this one. Which verb? Cause is a verb, make is a verb. Which verb is followed by a noun
No.
or an adjective?
Plus now. Yeah. Is number two.
Okay.
No, 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 not really. It's number one.
Okay, number one, look at this one. The jam's cause. Following after the cause is smag.
Mm.
And smag is,
Small is a noun.
okay, a noun. It can also be an adjective. Okay?
Oh,
Plus a noun. So that is cause. Okay? So the
yeah.
structure in using a cause would be noun or adjective plus a noun. Okay? Plus a noun. In here, doesn't is a noun. Okay? Smag is a noun. Next.
And
Which
with
verb is followed by a noun or a pronoun? Okay,
a
this one. This one is a verb followed by a
noun.
noun, followed by
Two.
adjective.
Just.
So, we have to use make. Okay,
Yes.
Koi?
Okay.
Okay. So, I have a class. I have my class after
Oh,
you. So, I have to say goodbye now.
wait,
Okay.
really?
Yeah. I have a
Say
last class, okay? So, we're going to continue discussing this one on the next meeting, Koi. That's gonna be on Saturday, okay?
yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for your time. We'll see you again this coming Saturday. Bye for now.
Yes, goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.